He awakened us to on the fact that our minds, not only have we been physically attacked as a people, we have been psychologically attacked.
Please, who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Malcolm primarily was focused on getting Black people to love ourselves. He understood that you could not engage in a freedom project with people unless you had unlocked their capacity for self-love and love within their community. And so justice and the work for justice was very much dependent on Malcolm teaching this self-love, love aesthetically, the love of Black people's aesthetic, the love of Black spirituality, the love of Black political life, the love of Black communal life. To lift up Blackness was not just an act of love, but an act of radical love.
What's happening at this time is actually radical. That whole transformation of the notion that you're dark-skinned makes you inherently inferior to, this is a badge of honor, pride. You are no longer just someone who came from a slave plantation and who had no identity. You're connected to this long, illustrious heritage. They are being told to wake up and come alive to their true selves, to their true identity.
And so when we think of love, I think a lot of people might think of love in this really narrow, sentimental way of like romance novels. And for Malcolm, love was much deeper than that. Like, now, he had his romantic moments. There's this part in his diary where he's traveling and he's like wistfully saying like, I miss Betty, right? So it's clear that Malcolm had that love capacity. But for Malcolm, that love went deeper. It was a love of Black people. It was a love of freedom. It was a love of justice. It was an understanding that you can't carry out justice without love.
Malcolm's message of self-love strikes a chord with Black Americans. Membership in the Nation of Islam jumps. Many join after his speeches, but there remains one holdout.
There's this quote I remember when Malcolm talks about how he was trying to win converts to the Nation of Islam, and he's like, it would take Allah himself to convert Ella, like, because she was so he understood her to be so strong-willed.
But after one of his talks in Boston, she surprises Malcolm when she rises with the others and joins the Nation of Islam. As I journey further in the story, two things about Ella Collins are becoming clear. She was a woman of strong opinions, and she did not hold them back.
She ended up joining in the Boston Mosque, and she didn't stay long. Malcolm, in fact, had to mediate a dispute she had with the leadership of the mosque, and she ended up leaving the nation.
And she's still very supportive of Malcolm as a minister.
Ella turns her energies to studying the Quran and aligns herself with the practices and beliefs of the broader Islamic community. She saves her money to go on the annual pilgrimage to Mecca, which is the dream of every Muslim. Malcolm also becomes disillusioned with Elijah Muhammad and leaves the movement to embrace traditional Islam, just like Ella had done before him. And like Ella, he wants to make the pilgrimage to Mecca, but going on the pilgrimage costs more money than he has.
When he goes off his own way, he doesn't have the means to make the Hajj. And this is something that Ella has actually been saving up for herself. So it's something that's important to her. And remember, Ella's gone into mainstream Islam before her brother, but still she says, no, Malcolm, this is important.
And she gave up her one shot so that Malcolm can make that journey. that is a significant sacrifice.
While in Mecca, he famously ate and prayed with people of all races. And he came face to face with something more.
Some people say God is love. It is the point of origin. It is the end all and be all. That is the source of love. That is love itself. That meeting with the source was symbolized in his Hajj.
Ella later said that he returned from Mecca a new man with the new name, El-Hajj Malik al-Shabazz. Spiritually revitalized, he begins speaking publicly again and launches a new organization.
I was working at Time Inc. in 1962, and one day I met a young black woman about my age, and so we started talking. She said to me, would you like to be a part of a new organization? And I said, yes. She told me to meet at it was a motel up near 153rd Street in Harlem. After I'd been there maybe about 20 minutes, in walks Brother Malcolm. I almost fell off my chair, because I did not, it never occurred to me that I was going to be a part of a new organization formed by him. It became the Organization of Afro-American Unity, the OAAU. Brother Malcolm's goal with the OAAU, besides helping us organize ourselves, was to take the United States before the United Nations Commission on Human Rights and accuse it of being either unable or unwilling to protect the lives and property of black people in this country. And Sister Ella was supporting that concept. Whenever he was doing anything really important, he would go to her to get her reaction to it. It wasn't like she decided everything he did. I definitely want to give that impression, because that's simply not true. But he wanted her opinion. He wanted to know what she felt about something. He wanted to know, because he knew one thing about her, she would tell him straight up the truth. She's one of the few people I think that Brother Malcolm did mess with. When you saw him around her, boy, I used to laugh and say, boy, when he was around her, boy, he's a whole different person. You saw him being the little brother to his big sister.
This clip is from our latest PBS film, Islam's Greatest Stories of Love, premiering August 22nd, 2025. Check the description for details, and please subscribe to help us bring more stories like this to life.